I'm Kimichuki and I study at Ralung High Secondary School. So the topic for our debate is, can Buddhism be practiced without a price tag? So our team will be speaking for the motion. And please bear with my voice because it's not really good because of the cold. So before I start, I would like to ask the audience a question. So, do you really think Buddhism cannot be practiced without a price tag? So, well, for me, the answer is no, because from my perspective, what I think is Buddhism can be practiced without any price tag. And there are lots of things which proves the statement correct, such as Buddhism being non-materialism. Then there are lots of stories of Buddha in which we can find him treating everyone equally, and devotions, and the main thing is faith. So I'll be talking about Buddhism being non-materialism. So we all know that Buddhism is the religion in which everyone can practice it, and it is all about non-materialism. Buddhism is for everyone. I mean, like, for everyone. Anyone can practice it. No matter the person is white, no matter the person is black, nor he's rich or poor, anyone can practice it. So, I'll just state some few points about practicing the Buddhism. So, Buddhism can be practiced in our life by knowing the values of cause and conditions. And if I talk a little about cause and conditions, it states that what we do to others is written back to, or if I state this in the other word, then it states that what goes around comes around. So keeping these things in mind, all we have to do is accumulate good merits by doing good deeds, and good acts and thoughts, and then purifying demerits. And the basic thing of Buddhism is taming our mind. As Rinpoche also stated that mind is the one which drives both the speech and the soul, so it's really important to tame our mind. Mind can accumulate both merits and demerits, so to practice Buddhism, it's really important to tame our mind, and it can be done through meditating and keeping the mind restful. And Buddhism can be a part of our life by believing in them, and doesn't matter how shall it be followed. All it has to have is a good notion on what you're following and what will it lead to. And Buddhism can be also practiced by having a clear vision in yourself on what you feel is the actual meaning of Buddhism. So, Buddhism can even be practiced by following the Eightfold Paths and the Four Noble Truths, which was introduced by Lord Buddha. And in these things, Buddha has not mentioned anything about price tags. So this proves that Buddhism can be practiced without any price tag. So lastly, Buddhism was practiced centuries ago by Lord Buddha, and he was the one who renounced all his wealth in order to find the answer for all the sufferings, and he was the one who got enlightened through practicing Buddhism. So if the Buddhism's roots doesn't have price tags on them, why say Buddhism cannot be practiced without any price tag? Thank you, love.
While we all understand that Buddhism is about inner spiritual practice and ultimately to tame our mind, to recognize its true nature, money is an important part in Buddhism, and in this age, due to our busy lives for survival, a majority of us do not have the luxury to go into retreats and be in isolated places like many other enlightened masters. So this leaves us with the only option of making offerings to gain and accumulate merit. And offerings in this relative world is to all do with money at various scales. First of all, times have changed and continue to change as we now live in the 21st century global market economy. We live in an era of an economic system in which economic decisions and the pricing of goods and services are returned in terms of money. Geshe Shivala rightly said the role of wealth will be indispensable to everyone, and I fully agree that Buddhism cannot be practiced without a price tag. Rituals constitute a major part of Tantric Buddhism, so even if you want to make a small offering like tho, etc., we need money to purchase the goods. And also, since we are not fully enlightened beings, there is always more satisfaction when we offer the most. Additionally, not to generalize the monks whom we invite to perform a ritual and fully understanding that whatever we offer is out of gratitude, financial self-sufficiency is also what the modern monks are required to practice. And Geshe Shivala had seen it coming. Wealth today is indispensable to everyone, even to those practicing Buddha Dharma. Secondly, I agree that it's always the thought that counts, but Buddhism is also about practicing what you preach. It involves compassion in action, and the many incidences that involve money are when we need to do charity works and life releases, etc. I'm not trying to imply that it is bad, but only trying to say that Buddhism does and cannot be practiced without a price tag. Thirdly, for beginner practitioners, even if you wish to do a solitary retreat, we need money to set up an altar and buy statues, etc. A lot of money is also needed for ration. Moreover, money is also involved in buying other ritual items such as symbols, bells, etc. Therefore, isn't it evident that money plays a vital role even in Buddhism and that it cannot be practiced without a price tag? It's time for modern people like ourselves to give some thought to spiritual matters and also understand that Buddhism cannot be practiced without a price tag, even if it is possible to some extent. Thank you.
Thank you, Train. Now we have Ugin again saying that we can.
First of all, I'd like to say good evening to all. I'm Uinima. As Guru Rinpoche have said, time doesn't change, but people change. With that, the difference between the modern practice and the olden practice was that in the olden days, people they produced and cultivated their own foods and vegetables, which shows that they were self-sufficient, from which the first share was given to an enlightened being or as an offering. In the modern days, people they don't produce or cultivate their own foods or vegetables, which means that they have to buy from the market, and they think that the price they pay to buy the food, vegetables, etc. are the price tag just to follow wisdom. Now, if the timekeeper favors me, I'd like to point out a story from Old Path White Cloud, walking in the footsteps of Buddha. In this story, Buddha once tried to teach two of his students. One of them, a daughter of a village chieftain, namely Sujata, and the other one, a son of a lower ranked people called untouchable, namely Savasti. It was somewhere in lunchtime when Sujata placed a banana leaf in front of Buddha with white rice and small amount of sesame salt. At the same time, when Savasta found a safe place to keep his water buffaloes and joined Buddha for lunch. Savasta bought his own lunch when he opened the banana leaf to reveal brown rice unlike the white rice of Sajasta. Buddha wished to mix both of the rice and dipped it in sesame salt and offered to Sajasta and Savasti. After that, Savasti took took out her only one mug and poured some water into the mug for the Buddha. But Buddha again offered it to Saraswati, saying that drink first, saying Saraswati to drink first in a soft voice. Saraswati felt so unaccustomed honor and joined his palm in thanks and drank the drank the water in one glove. After that, Buddha took the empty mug and asked Siddhartha to refill it for the second time. That time, the second refilled mug was drank by Buddha slowly and deeply enjoyed. When Buddha had finished, he again asked for a third refill. This time he gave the mug to Siddhartha. Siddhartha felt uncomfortable to drink from the same mug which an untouchable had drank. In that time, if you drank from an untouchable or were polluted by an untouchable, you had to wait in milk for 1 week. It clearly showed that that time there was no relationship between there was no equality between people. After that, after she saw Buddha drank the water from the same mug, I skipped to the end. Sorry. The story says that when you follow Buddhism, we all are equal and we must leave the rank and wealth and position etc. behind and become one and see each other equally. So that means there is no such thing as price tag in Buddhism. Thank you.
I think Ugen could not end his story, but for all of us who are interested to hear the end of the story and the details of the story, you can ask Ugen which page to refer to and then later catch up with Ugen. So now we have Pana from the team saying that we need money, right?
Good evening, Venerable Khenpo and all present here. I am Panam Rai and I stand here to argue that Buddhism cannot be practiced without understanding. So, although your story, we couldn't end it and didn't understand the story, I will not be able to refute on your story.
It's okay.
But you must be a good storyteller. I want to learn more from you. Okay, anyways. First of all, it is evident that any ritual of any sort or just a visit to a monastery, it involves money. In this process, I'm not trying to say that Buddhism is expensive here. I'm just trying to say that money is involved in Buddhism. So, let me illustrate my points with the following examples. Firstly, in Buddhism, any ritual, it constitutes the making of dharmas, offering butter lamps, and giving charka. These all require money. You need to invest something in this. And we could also take the example of the altar rooms. We generally call it chesham in Dzongkha. Well, everyone at home has a chesham, right? Why? Why do we give importance to the chesham? Well, in this modern era, we give priority to this chesham because we don't feel the connection with Buddhism, or we don't feel like we're practicing Buddhism unless we do our daily rituals in the chesham. Am I right? So that's why we need an altar at our homes. But while installing the altar, we also install the statues, the scriptures, and other religious texts. So while installing this, it costs us a lot. So we need money to practice Buddhism every day. That is, see. So, and then I'll give another example that why Buddhism must flow with the price tag, that is the pilgrimage or Nyogor. We Buddhists, we like to go to Bodh Gaya every year, mula. So when we go to Bodh Gaya, we attain the ceremonies of great amas, we need to go, but most of us, we don't get the opportunity because we don't, simply it is because we lack in wealth, we don't have enough to go there, food, accommodation, fooding, lodging and all. And then, if we visit monasteries, so when we visit monasteries or get preachings from important lamas, Kimbos, I believe we need at least a bit of money. I'm not trying to say expensive, like a lot of money, but even small amounts we need in Buddhism. And then, don't you think that money really is required in Buddhism? No, you'll never agree. Okay, so anyways, lastly, I'd like, I don't know, this will not be the last because I have not heard the bell from them. So, okay. So, lastly, in this degenerate times, no, we youth mola. We prefer to say Anyong than Kuzambo mola. So we fail to understand Chuki, which is in our prayers. So they need to be translated into English and Lungka. And in doing so, we need to hire the best linguists. This is done so that we can understand the meaning in the prayers we chant. Otherwise, if you hadn't translated this, we would just be blabbering some words. So we need to translate this. And in translating this, we hire the linguists, the best of the best. And in doing so, it costs us a lot, doesn't it? So, well, it is like we're being blindfolded. But we'll remove it at any cost. Thank you, La.
Thank you, Panav. Now we have Tande Nongmo again saying that yes, we can practice Buddhism without a price tag.
Thank you so much, Kuzangpula, Venerable Kempo, international participants, local participants, and colleagues from various schools. I'm Taniwang Modorji from Lungtan Zamba Middle Secondary School. I'm here to speak for the motion. Price tag has nothing to do with Buddhism, but to deal with your ego in your social life. When there is a big spiritual event being hosted, people often offer money, and afterwards they are called and the names are announced saying that they donated that much money for that category, which feeds the person's ego and lets the other people get the wrong perspective, thinking that there is price tag just to practice Buddhism. I would say that Buddhism can be practiced without a price tag. As in any sutras or tantra teachings, there is nothing mentioned about the need to price tag in practicing the sacred teachings of the awakened master. For instance, the teachings of Buddha Shakyamuni, such as the three universal truths, the four noble truths, and the noble eightfold path, does not require money in order to practice it. The core message is that our devotion knows no bound, where the indispensable nature of the wealth is being eradicated through the spiritual bond shared between a teacher and his or her disciple. In this case, a price tag is an offering beyond the will or the normal capacity of a person. However, an enlightened teacher neither asks nor expects money from his or her disciples, rather provide everything in order to lead their disciples on a right track. For instance, the 5 disciples of Buddha Shakyamuni got enlightenment without any price tag, and even one of the greatest yogi, Milarepa, received teachings from Marpa Latsewa and later got enlightened without the need of money. On top of that, we don't need other examples, as we already have many great masters in the nooks and corners of the world. I don't think we should stress ourselves to look for those examples, as we are having an awakened and a compassionate being right in front of us, who is none other than His Eminence Gyaldo Khamba. Without any bias, Rinpoche treats everyone as his own sons and daughter with unconditional and immense love. On top of Rinpoche being a spiritual master, Rinpoche travels extensively and has led all his disciples on a path of liberation without receiving any money. On the other hand, Rinpoche is also a staunch supporter of non-government organizations and their activities. Though Buddha's teachings cannot be bought by money or any other means, but due to our immense devotion, we brought out a tradition of offering money as nyander and etc. But will it be considered a price tag? However, from my understanding, it is a part of Buddhist practice to accumulate merits through this act of generosity, and also to cut one's attachment to his or her material wealth. Now, to wrap up my opinion, I would like to say that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas does not require offerings which are beyond our capacity. Instead, they just need the pure devotion to listen to their teachings and to free ourselves from the circle of samsara. Thus, our devotion without barrier can eradicate the indispensable nature of the world, and thus proving that Buddhism can be practiced without a price tag. Thank you, and I would like to apologize if I had hurt the sentiments of anyone present here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tandin. Now, the mic is so loud. Now we have Pema Chuden, again saying that money is important.
Good evening, Venerable Khenpo, dear Dharma brothers and sisters. It gives me great pleasure to stand here representing my group, but a greater honor to speak against the motion. My opponent's counter-argument was really entertaining. It definitely made me laugh. But all that is funny is not always sensible. I totally disagree with you, my worthy opponent. Buddhism cannot be practiced without a price tag. I reiterate, Buddhism cannot be practiced without a price tag. It is very important to note that just because Buddhism needs a price tag, we are not defying all the principles of Buddhism. In fact, we are enhancing Buddhism with time and strengthening every bit of Buddhism in every possible way. Change is inevitable, and money goes parallel with change. Knowing and understanding that the little offerings we make is to express our gratitude, I want to share this from someone's perspective who thinks ritual conducted as a part of Buddhism are expensive. Trungpa So, a researcher at the Center of Bhutan Studies and GNH Research, wrote an article in Bhutan Observer, which I quote here. Today in Bhutan, to perform an annual ritual, namely devoting the first day to Dharmayudo, second day to Choso, and the third day to Thurdo, he has to pay the ritual performers an amount of 3,500 to each person, which is about 35,000 for 10 people in a single day. And when multiplied for 3 days, we get a grand total of 1,05,000, which is meant exclusively for performing the ritual. This could be one reason why they say Buddhism has a price tag. I quote. I'm still wondering whether the person was lavish or is it the ritual which was complicated. Now, let me get to my next point. For Buddhism to flourish, it is necessary to construct numerous monasteries and preserve sacred Buddhism sites. To do this, financial contribution is required, and it clearly indicates that without money, it is difficult to practice Buddhism. Well, I agree to some extent that money is not necessary while practicing Buddhism, but that was a long time ago. Now, with spiritual materialism taking over, people only feel more connection with spiritualism if there are more hagas and temples around them. Not only constructing, one has to install statues, and maintenance should be done at certain intervals. Thus, money is required. Buddhist monasteries and institution centers, they depend very much on the donations of the public. How do you think Buddhism will thrive without all these infrastructures and facilities in place that always has a cost associated with it? I'm sure most of us remember the earthquake which struck Bhutan in 2009 and 2011, where old ancient hagas and chhatis were greatly damaged all across the country. It also greatly disturbed the people's sentiments. It was a must that we needed to restore it again. We can't just let them be destroyed, can we? So what do we need for the repairment and maintenance? I tell you, my worthy opponents, we need money to restore it to its former glory. After all, as mentioned, money is indispensable to everyone. Every time a grand religious ceremony is planned to be conducted, the financial requirements need to be put in place before the ceremony is started, which means a certain amount of money is needed even before offerings can support the ceremony. This also shows that money is a requirement to create the condition for many to be a part of religion practices. What's so ironic about Buddhism nowadays is that we say we practice Buddhism when to free our consciousness from greed, when we are actually turning ourselves into materialistic parasites filled with greed. So to suffice our needs, Buddhism must flow with price, and there is no other way to stop this. And deep inside, I strongly pray that this is not the truth. Thank you.
So finally, the last, but of course not the least, we have Lucky from the team strongly supporting, saying that we can practice Buddhism without a price tag.
A very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lucky Chuzong, and I am currently studying in RTC, and I am speaking for the motion that yes, Buddhism can be practiced without any price tag. So I feel that my counterparts here are in a little bit of confusion. They are confining Buddhism to rituals. But now I would like to question that, is it right to confine Buddhism just to rituals? And if it is, then let me ask you something. If there is a price tag for every aspect of Buddhism, like they said, rituals, then I would like to know who sets the menu. Because it sounds like a menu at a hotel, like this room there costs 300 and another offering 200. So I'm really curious. I want to know who sets those menus, because as far as I'm concerned, I never heard about those. So again, I'm saying religion does not have any price tag. It is us who label Buddhism with all those price tags, and Buddhism as a religion does not has any price tag. So now my next point would be they talked about all the statues and the equipment we have in our choshrooms and how expensive it is. But like my fellow mate said earlier, that devotion is what that counts the most. So if you have utmost devotion and faith, then I think whether the statue is made out of gold or a bronze or maybe a simple stone, it doesn't make a difference. What counts is your devotion and your faith. And I believe the core foundation of religion would be faith and your devotion. And so my next point would be, I remember, like my counterpart said about the article in Bhutan Observer, I remember seeing it somewhere as well. And I'm sorry, I'm lost. I can't find it. All right. So he also said, I quote, it's a direct quote, I haven't manipulated. So it says that Buddhism has no price tag at all. Anything that is paid to the monks is out of gratitude for the spiritual service they render us. If those services of monks had a price tag, then it would have now gone out of the roof. So I agree with him, but it's true that there are money involved in practicing Buddhism. But the question is, why does it even matter? You know, the way you look at it is what makes the entire scenario different. Look at it like a way of showing your gratitude, or maybe your appreciation instead of paying price tag. And I think there is a huge difference between devotional offering and price tag. So price tag would be, I think the girls can relate with it a lot. You know, you save up all your pocket money just to buy the designer bag, what you call it, Gucci. Is it Gucci? I'm sorry, I'm not very good with the designer bags. And then finally you get it, you pay 5,000 for that, you take care of it like your baby, but then your niece or your daughter, a kid gets hold of a scissor and cuts your designer bag. There goes your happiness. All these things are temporary, but Buddhism as a whole, you know, it emphasizes on believing, acknowledging impermanence and not getting attached to those temporary things. And sorry, I'm getting lost again. So I would also like to talk about all the contributions individual make during the rituals and all. So if the rituals is, people do a lot of rituals, we have like Tinsum and all. So they do it for their family and their well-being. And I'm not saying that's wrong. But the question is, suppose if Mr. A invests 30,000 for his own individual rituals, then the question is, do you think that he would contribute the same amount for a community ritual? The answer is definitely no. Who would? I won't. I'm guilty of not contributing. But what I'm trying to say here is that people contribute money, the huge sums. It's not for the benefit of the sentient being. It's just to feed their ego and boost it, and to show people that yes, he did invest that much money. So my dear fellow mates, you had very amazing explanation and a lot of good points. But what I would like to say humbly, that yes, Buddhism can be practiced without any price tag. Thank you.
And now we have Dichen from the other team. Dichen Wangdi.
캠보기 우츠디기 배 때꾸렌 행연놈 땡이 체로 용로 구상보슈닐라. 치심기 배우 얘기시에 쌤 디와까우 때 하마고 세 티시 두미자치 메슈니. 데들이 대가니와 핀숨 소위기 임디칼로라 제 두미차찹 다도 순지기 바나로 디로다 주노즈미디 시킬렙지야 마조아베 담비체 줍츠미디로 데 지민남기 소리 토림롭달레 가미디 쇼와디 nga레 호텔레 타스텔레 예스슈닐 데다리 나 두미차찹라 도인 타타치다 자인 신시지 메니디기 콘스기 데신디고로 콘솔로 데 가니게로 켜메스슈니 데 마질라 데 나보스기 마든비게탐 네베 순톰달로 땡아야 땡이 나월로 알로로 나 주담뱀이기 댄신디고로 줍두숨 징하기 소매슈니라 데데야 가데모 세와친라 데 담베체 지미딜라 나보스기 나와 나치수기 나와 데리미 똥바베 고사치레 고디베사치레 데 티로다 주노 라리 마타바디 담베체 줍디 마팔라 미덴스슈니라 데 나보스기 스멜라 데림조 데 소마소 체익 베베갑솔 소마소 셈이셀라 데 나보스기 숨비데 마팔라 미덴스가 슈니미라 데덴 데보달로라 페나 나 차루치기를 림두기 콜레 데 네베체 슈델라 데로 좁수 림도 땅주딩 같이 까린체 셀랍삼치기 땀달랑 하시기 미톱도 온스노멜라 디나루 갭치다 양진 똠나루 숭치디 피고스 슈닐라 디멤버친 데림도 땅따 줌체 멤베스슈니 데 게실라 나 두미 차잡기 즘준알리 팔라 림도레 땀달루라 데 양진 갭스테니미 양진 제로제미데 마팔레 마조와친 땡알로에 사시수나 땡아에 디즈미 림주지 베타가 웨스슈닐라 데 데게 마도왈라 땡아체라데 참치제디 베로에 te di leshumbe drup tablu la te zani thoni gozon digi be deni gi chim disu gara te namle yanchi namle bibiu yanchi ranjing gi dubdu gi sim membe shunila disu gara zedo mahai zup chitandi gi be te babo matu jigo te ranjing gi dubdu membe shunila te dambe che dubdo se ya te ya jimbatani mi te jende se phini me bachin ju idalo ki ranji chi mena sengai nebet mos name shunila te ralu men te mi shen le doram be mesumula te anbin digila te rangi yanchi wampo gongagi te jimbati nabusuge tamisudo ngai de mapar tamisula tambin digila te juchala me bachin te wampo gongagi jimbati ngagi tamisu te juchala me bachin ti da le rolu mi jenlu te phembe la de betso la ka thomes shunila te kero peda madelse lapse yeduzumbe dambe che simidi pe jamse phagagi norusumjida te tiru simidi duzumchelo chasha bachinla te jamse phagagi norbu thobgo bachin dudira tanjogola jamsu gamchi bombi nabusi khendongla dinalo checha bejo wachi mihela namrabe dani jumbe tengachera te dambichi di dugo bachinla dambichi dugo bachin titiru me bachin te leshumbe te sangi go thopchubadi lakhawon se shuni te di matsela te nawa dachi dumichi ki sunde minapda kapgi bana te che be matup ge gole te mi chubda changgi bana te ngachi ki dato tsepagi densen de minapda kapgi bana e menla mi chubda changgi bana e menla te dambe che duwe kapsulu tiru jome se cham jimbala tiru joda majo khebar chamji te aji minap ki che be tublo mi kapgi che be matublo se chata pula mi ani de le shumbe nga nabuto se chugo shunela te na dumi chachablo ne se ji jugela 다토기 듀랍디라 상기기 체나오기 듀랍 매스니라 상기기 체디 잠니 테 마이좁나루 테 찹디기비 예스니라 테 데마체 테 나보츠기 띵이지 겨 곰치게 콜레 테 체자디기 멤버 베시나루 테 나체라 나치 미 페바 차찹 담비치 드비 kapsulu 티르 조이나 마조이나 디 콜레 에와체디게베 네베수나 시슈니라 테 말람 미셰 마참 미포라 추마다 땀기셰 나마다 chimada chugisha namada tamgishes danibe sundi yebzumbe de nabusugi tengai nalema shumisu gara sengba jadigebe de leshumbe darusachi tosam jedigebe de nebe sunna shunikarinchel.
We have the rebuttal, and first we have Thaki summarizing from the team, still saying that we can practice Buddhism without a price tag.
Thank you very much. I think that both for God really hit it up. Thank you so much. So thank you again, my worthy opinions for all the fair points made. But there's one thing I would like to stress on again. I never said that we don't need money for the rituals that we pay to monks. We said that we should change the point of view. We look at that offering, and I said that that should be offered as a sign of gratitude rather than tagging it as a price tag. Sorry, I'm getting really angry right now. I'm very sorry. See, you're not enlightened at all. So, and then again, my worthy opinion, he talked about money and enlightenment, how we cannot get enlightened without money. So then I would like to urge my worthy opinion to again revisit the story of Lord Buddha again and see if he ever had bank accounts or maybe money and how he got enlightened. So I guess that's it for us, because there might be a lot of people who says different things, but we still believe that Buddhism can definitely be practiced without any price tag. And if you need any references, like I said again, read the story of Buddha. And that's all with our points. And now I'd like to state a question to our worthy opinions. So if you really think there is a price tag attached to Buddhism, then don't you think we'll end up in a situational irony where we're supposed to let go of all the materialistic lingerings and attachments, but rather saying that there is an attachment, there is a price tag attached to Buddhism. I would like to ask, how would you define it?
모기 배워진 다지디 손님인도 띠루진 그베콜레 대다도데 띠루진이 아시지딩 아직 하더라 여도슈네라 다니 배우달로 다로 디 하더래 양알로 모기디 가디베 순데라 와친라 셈 레shum노 섬탄디기베 다네베 갭디 아네베 장고시멜라 땡아치기 베와친라 대로 첩초기 때 몽고슬라브레야 파츠디게 짐메슈인라 가치기야 파 마짐달로 땡아치 셈기 마팔레라티 마투바 데파치 마팔레 데즈음베 마짐마친 땡아치로 펜바 미용세 아네베 노디기베 짐마토 지고라 대로 람첩기야 수니에미 나 차롤로 데 수에 마수모 다춘징아기 고야 마고라 안좀지 바쇼슬라 미디라 땡아치기 때 림도 땅옴달로 땡아치라 셈기베 데 로니 마짐바친 땡아치 펜바 미용세 데즈음베 톰날로야 나좀 마투브다지베친 체텐 나 zum maybe chetin de kora chapde khume to zum imo no digebe neve chindo se shunela te nagesu me te sangi di te junor gi kolela junor ko jabi kolela te sangi di sangeni gi denle te junor ko sha ma to chigo dinalu sangeni gi denle junor ko shani labdalo junor di ana minduga se shunela ni tambe chedebe kapsul te masela sangi di la chebewe kapsul라 침나레 파 젠데기 벨라 하 아네베 또레제 아네베 젬미디라 데 티루 랍달룰라 쇼구기 티루 짬집에 나부시 아네베 고메스 슈넬라 데 티루 랍달룰라 자니투니 데 자니투니 베베와첸라 춤레 고즈기 뇨고베 디나루에 티루 조멜라 아니에 티루베 나부시기 네베노 섬탄고시 슈넬라 데 아네베 노선타 와친 나부시기 덴센레 데 아치기 덴센나 총원디기 닌가 봄도 우시 슈니 데 좀마토 same is 데 다치 슈니 제수노 데 다토 주고베 좀마토 same is 랍돌로 베베와친라 체소라 나보수 체스미에스는 천세 팀북이 공수체인데 꼬라잡데 냠델로 데 아게치 남세미 또미 양진 건 게니 골라 레슈미 미 아게치 체놀라 디나로 아기로 노숨단디게베 디체디게 아예 아기데 판세시 도모세 아니면 노쌈치 아기디 또미 톱라 골람비톱 데 디톱라 와진 지야지 체라 상기기 티파 온 인도 데딩아기 체로 세도하고 베슈닐라 땡아게 베와진 디 멤버 베시널로 랑루 주누르 예바진 랑루 티루 예바진 디나로 아예 이메모 아예 아게데 판시시 두스냐 또치 뇨진 야지 골라리 뇨진 안에 베와진 데 레시모네 메슈니 카린첼라.
So that brings us to the end of the program today, and we really hope that you all had a good time and have very different opinions, I'm sure. And now we would like to request Kempo to kindly present small gifts to our speakers for today.